The moment they feared has arrived, says Archangel Michael with a voice that pierces both the seen and unseen. The transaction they prayed would never be uncovered has already been recorded in the courts of heaven. Signatures were exchanged in secret behind your back in meetings cloaked in darkness. What was once your divine inheritance, be it a position, a place, a relationship, or a calling, has been stripped from your name without your knowledge. This was not an accident. This was not confusion, it was a betrayal, planned with precision, whispered in late-night meetings, carried out with the deliberate cruelty of those who pretended to love you while plotting your removal. While your hands were busy healing, and your heart focused on rising from past wounds, someone near you, perhaps even someone you fed, trusted, or prayed with, was quietly pushing you out. They disguised envy as affection. They wore loyalty as a mask, but beneath it their intent was sharp and dark. You were not only removed from a space, but from a seat of divine influence. And as they finalized the paperwork, removed your name, and toasted their success, they celebrated too soon. For what they signed in secret is now being seen in spirit. Heaven has marked it, and heaven is responding. You trusted the wrong soul. They used your vulnerability like a key to gain access. And once inside, they replaced you without permission. The documents they filed, the contracts they altered, and the agreements they forged were done under a lie. Some told others that you gave consent when you never did. A lawyer acted on half the truth. A woman smiled in your face but sat at a table of betrayal. What they have done is not just legal theft, it is spiritual robbery, and the universe does not let such actions pass unnoticed. You may feel like something has been taken, but what was stolen was never meant to last in their hands. What is built on deception is destined to collapse. You are not being thrown away, you are being repositioned. This isn't rejection, it's a redirection. You were removed, yes, but only from contaminated waters. God is pulling you out of what looked like comfort, but was becoming your spiritual trap. What you called home had already turned into a battlefield. You're being relocated to higher ground where false hands can no longer touch what belongs to you. And now the reversal begins. They thought they deleted the evidence, but there is footage, there are messages, there are fragments of truth scattered like breadcrumbs, and heaven is gathering them. Strange things are happening in their lives now. Losses, setbacks. Silence because the spiritual realm has stepped in. Divine justice does not move in haste, but it moves with certainty. The ones who removed you are beginning to feel the weight of what they've done. They cannot sleep. Their hearts are uneasy. Their laughter has turned cold. One of them even received a dream, a warning not to go through with this plan. They ignored it. And now, what they gained is cursed with consequence. This was never about just land or titles. This was about your light, your presence, your anointing. And yet, through all of this, you have remained still silent. But your silence is not weakness. It is sacred warfare. It is divine strategy. Because while you've been quiet, heaven has been loud. Archangel Michael says, your name is still written in the book of destiny. What was removed by man is being restored by God. What was erased on paper is engraved in light. There is a copy of a document they forgot to destroy. It was printed in haste. That paper will become the key to the reversal. You may have been pushed out, but spiritually you are already walking back in. With evidence, with favor, with power that cannot be counterfeited. The very place that tried to forget you is now experiencing spiritual drought. The laughter in the hallways sounds hollow. The lights flicker. The atmosphere is unsettled. Even the animals are uneasy. Because energy doesn't lie. Where light is forced out, shadows start to stir. You were the peace in that place, and now that peace is gone and they know it. Guilt is setting in. Shame is growing louder. And soon a knock will come at your door, not to take more from you, but to return something they feared you would ask for. Because what they stole, they cannot hold. Their hands are trembling and their spirits are cracking. One person on the inside can no longer carry the silence. They weren't part of the plan, but they saw too much. Their conscience is growing louder than their fear. And they will speak, not because they like you, but because they cannot bear the weight of the lie any longer. That witness will be used by the divine to unlock what they tried to seal. A conversation is coming. A quiet apology will be made. It won't include every detail, but it will begin to crumble the false structure they built. One truth will break the spell. Do not be surprised when people begin to avoid your eyes. That's how guilt manifests. The ones who used to speak loudly will now grow silent. And in rooms where your name was erased, it will be spoken again, this time with reverence. The chain reaction has already started. Heaven has pulled the receipts. And when those documents resurface, they will be your vindication. Every forged word will be nullified by the spiritual truth. What they celebrated in secret will soon haunt them in public. Archangel Michael says, "You are not returning the same. You are walking back in with divine armor. What once broke you is now beneath your feet. They thought removing you would end your purpose, but it only ignited your elevation. They tried to kill your name, but heaven preserved it. The door they slammed shut is now opening again. Not through human hands, but by divine timing. You are not going back. You are going forward. Not into the same space, but into a higher realm. The heavens have already replaced what they tried to steal. And your name will be announced in places you never even applied to. One of your ancestors is awake and interceding. That's why you've been feeling stronger, more alert. Because spiritual restoration has already begun. From this moment forward, the shift begins. It will start as a whisper, a wind before a storm. But it will end as thunder splitting the silence. The light around you is becoming undeniable. The favor over you is now visible. People will look at you differently. Not out of pity, but revelation. Because they are starting to realize who you were all along. What they tried to seal is reopening. What they tried to erase is reappearing. And what they tried to bury is rising again in glory. You were never removed. You were hidden for a greater reveal. The deed has been finalized, yes. But it was never authorized by heaven. And now the reversal is set in motion. What they wrote in ink is being overwritten by light. You are not stepping back into the past. You are stepping into a realm they cannot touch, a position they cannot steal, a purpose they cannot destroy. As the storm of betrayal rages on, the heavens are stirring a divine shift. The adversary may have thought that with your removal they secured the victory. They believed that erasing you from the equation would silence your influence, diminish your impact, and seal their grip on what was never meant for them. But the truth, my beloved, is that your presence was never theirs to take. It was always part of a larger cosmic plan. A purpose far greater than the temporary positions and titles they tried to rob you of. The shift you're about to witness is not one of mere restitution. No, this is divine recalibration. It's not about returning to what once was. It's about moving into the destiny that was always meant for you. A place of greater peace, greater purpose, and greater power. The path before you may have been hidden in shadows, but now the light is illuminating your way, making the crooked paths straight and the rough places smooth. You may feel as though time has been lost, that you've been sidelined for too long. But let me tell you this: time is a construct of man. The divine does not operate within the confines of human timelines. When the universe steps in, it bends time itself. What seems like delay is nothing but preparation for the grand entrance that is about to unfold. You are being positioned for something monumental. What has been obscured will soon be revealed, and it will not be just for you. It will be for those who were blind to your true value. Do not be deceived by the silence in the physical world. It is only a temporary veil. Behind it, the orchestration of the divine is already in motion. The very forces that seem to conspire against you are now aligning in your favor. The winds are shifting. Those who once sought to silence you will soon find themselves forced to reckon with the truth of your worth. What was once taken will be returned, not with the same measure that was stolen, but pressed down, shaken together, and running over. In the places where your name was once erased, there will now be a profound whisper, then a shout proclaiming your return. Not only will you be reinstated in what was lost, but you will walk into spaces you never thought possible. Those who tried to block you, belittle you, and cast you out will watch in awe as your light grows brighter. The energy you exude now is one of quiet strength, a strength that needs no words, no validation, no applause. The world will begin to feel the weight of your presence as though a mighty river is flowing through the very core of your being. But this is not a time for arrogance or pride. No, this is a time for humility, gratitude, and grace. For those who sought to harm you, now it is your opportunity to show mercy. Mercy is divine power. To forgive is to rise above the battlefield and stand in the light of celestial authority. You have been elevated not for revenge, but for restoration, for the healing of your own soul and the transformations of those around you. Understand this, beloved. You were always the one chosen for this moment. You were prepared in silence through every trial, every tear, and every closed door. Those closed doors were not to block your path, but to direct you to a new, higher way. The lies they told about you, the rumors they spread, and the schemes they designed were nothing but the fuel for the fire that is now igniting within you. In the coming days, you will witness the great unraveling. The things that were buried deep in the darkness will begin to surface, and those who once thought they could act with impunity will find themselves caught in the web they spun. The truth will shine like a blazing light, and there will be no place left for their deceit to hide. But as the world around you shifts, remember that your greatest victory will not be in seeing others fall. It will be in remaining steadfast in your purpose, your integrity, and your divine calling. The higher you go, the more you will be called to rise above the pettiness of human conflict. Your character will be your true strength, for it is through your character that heaven is glorified. Your grace will be your testimony, your forgiveness will be your deliverance. And so, as the days unfold, know this: what you once thought was the end of your story is only the beginning. The enemy has made their move, but they have failed to understand that their move was part of a divine plan that cannot be undone. You're not just stepping into a position, you're stepping into a new realm of spiritual authority. When you walk into that room again, when you step back into the spaces you were once cast out from, you will do so as a conqueror. Not because you fought with your hands, but because you fought with your heart. Your faith has carried you through, and now your faith will manifest before your very eyes. Those who once doubted you will be left in awe as you step into the fullness of what was always yours. The divine timing is perfect. The moment has arrived. The keys are in your hand. The door is wide open. Remember, you are not just reclaiming what was taken. You are entering into the fullness of your destiny. The journey you've walked has not been in vain. It has been the preparation for your grand reveal. Rejoice, beloved, for the battle has already been won. The victory is yours. The gates of heaven are open. The doors of opportunity swing wide. The restoration of all things has begun. Like, subscribe, share your testimony. As you feel the stirrings of divine power in your spirit, if you are ready to walk into this next season of greatness, declare it below. I claim my divine restoration. I step into my destiny with grace and power. And with every step you take, may the angelic hosts surround you, guide you, and protect you on this sacred journey. You are chosen. You are protected. You are rising.